Rockeyez would like to welcome PJ Farley, Trickster. Hey man, what's going on?
How you doing, Brian? Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem. Congratulations on the new solo album, Boutique Sounds Frames. Before we get to talking to that, let's go way back. Why did you actually want to go into music?
I started out just like any other kid, just seeing Kiss and just being enamored with the whole spectacle of it, and it's the combination between just music and drama, and I don't know, it was just a great blend and it just really sucked me in.
Right.
And I loved the music, and then I just started from it. All started from there.
Right.
Bay City Rollers at the same time, believe it or not.
They wanted TV. It was a big draw. I mean, I remember my sister. I mean, she still got posters and all that other stuff from Bay City Rollers.
Yeah, I mean, it happened kind of at the same time.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. Yeah. What were your influences? Back then, besides the Bay City Rollers or whatever. And what about today? Do you listen to anything?
My influences back like when I first got into music.
Yeah.
I had a pretty wide variety. I listened to obviously like Kiss and Aerosmith and Zeppelin and Maiden, Priest, and then I also listened to the Stevie Wonders and Journey and Billy Joel. So I mean, I kind of had for a young kid, I had where rock and roll at a time when rock and roll was really thriving. I mean, I thought I had a pretty rounded out spectrum.
Right. Do you listen to anything these days?
Not as much as I used to.
Right.
I tend to go back. I mean, there are some certain things I listen to. I mean, I'm a sucker for the classics, so
Right.
I don't know. Jellyfish has always been one of my favorite bands. I can always listen to their records.
Right.
Hall & Oates and the Beatles, or geez, I don't even know where to go.
Right. Wow.
Then I listen to some of the heavier stuff like Seven Dust.
Right.
Is one of my favorites. I have a band called Seosin, a newer, somewhat newer band.
Right.
So I kind of get it all in there.
Cool. Now for the new record, Boutique Sound Frames. Tell me a little bit about the style of music that you're playing on this album, and give me a little bit about the process in creating it.
As far as the style, I really wouldn't know how to answer that really, because it didn't really. It wasn't a conscious effort to have a style.
Right.
And partially why the record took so long, just because these are just a collection of songs that I thought would fit the best on one record.
Right.
But they weren't written for this particular record for this particular time.
Right.
I write songs, and if I'm just messing around on guitar and I get a progression or something, and I get a melody. Uh-huh. I kind of follow it and see how far I get, and sometimes it turns into full songs. It's sometimes if I get that magic melody, it just develops itself, and I kind of hum sounds that sound like words that fit, and then I just put it down. I put the guitar down. I just kind of walk around and think about the melody and think about the words. And if I finish a song, I do it from a completely natural, genuine place.
Right.
I'm not thinking, this isn't right for whatever band I'm working with right now. I just write it, and I always tend to, draw from personal experiences. So that's why these songs turned out, personal and not so, like say Trickster, for instance, is a very, it's a rock and roll band.
Right.
It's fun, upbeat, and we got some depth to us, especially nowadays. But this record isn't that much of a roll your windows down, take the top off, and cruise down the highway, cranking it, and,
Right.
backyard party record. Although it's a rock record and it's, it's got some energy to it. I mean, it's not like the, like I said, it's not the party record.
Right.
So, I mean, these songs, I picked out of 20 or 30 that I have that I think, I wanted to stay within the realm of what people know me for. Because I have songs that are just all over the board.
Right.
But, at this point, I had enough I recorded a couple new ones to finish the record that I'd been sitting on for a while. And I thought it would fit good.
Cool.
So I finished it, and I think I have as close to a cohesive sound as possible. And like I said, I wanted to keep it somewhat in the genre that I'm most known for, but without taking risks.
Right.
Some of the stuff on there is definitely a little bit different, and, I wanted it to be that way.
Right, right. Now, you've been in music for quite a long time and stuff. Why do you feel like 2016 was the right time to actually put out a solo album?
I just figured strike while the iron's cold, man, and put out a record when no one's buying them.
Right.
Really just wanted to trick everybody and say, I'll be damned if I sell my record.
Right.
I'm going to wait for everyone downloads it.
Right.
So I don't know, man. Like I said, I think it just took that long for me. I have been, like you said, very busy and blessed, lucky in music, with all the national acts I've played with and all the touring in my life I've been doing and have done, and different bands and genres I've been able to play with. I can't lie and say that this project has been on the top of my brain for all this time. I definitely set it aside and kind of forgot about it for a while when I was so busy, and I really kind of just dragged my ass. Right. And then once we finished the Human Error record, I just said, I'm in the studio. I'm in studio mode. I'm like, let me just finish this. And these songs, I do believe that they are kind of timeless, in the sense that, and I think that's also what let me be a little bit lazy. I'm like, these songs, I can put them out whenever.
Right.
They still, whether they came out 20 years ago or they're coming out now.
Right.
I don't know if you'll know which ones were recorded when.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Which is kind of cool. I think that's what I've been told, at least.
Right.
Some people call it modern, but I call it timeless because it's not really modern in the sense that it sounds like today's rock music, because honestly, today's rock music is country.
Right. Now, you went with Andrew McNeice's melodic rock records. Was there a reason why? I know he's a friend and stuff like that. I'm sure you had other offers and stuff like that, but why'd you go with Andrew's?
Andrew was, right off the bat, I sent him one song, and he loved it. Mm-hmm. And I sent him more, and he just really loved it. And he sat with it a little bit. He was a bit, I wasn't sure what method I was going to use to put it out, because I didn't want that much input from any, label or anything like that. I really didn't want to get that involved in the sense where conforming at this point, it was this stage in the game, was just not an interest of mine. I'm like, I really just kind of had it in mind. I'm going to get these tunes together, put them out on iTunes, and forget about it.
Right.
And then Andrew showed some interest, and a couple other people at the same time, really. And but like I said, I think and Andrew took a risk because anything he puts out on that label, doesn't sound anything like this record.
Right.
But and like you said, I give him credit. He he said, it's a little quote unquote modern for melodic rock records, but I like good music regardless of the genre.
Right.
And so I think he believed in it enough to where he's like, what, it's good. It's not 80s hair metal, but it's a great record. And I have obviously the history in the genre, so I figured he thought it'll work.
Right. Now, I mentioned to you my two favorite tracks on the disc, You'd Stick It Out and Things We Hold On To. Can you tell anything about them two songs that are my particular favorites?
Yeah, You'd Stick Out, it's titled, it's basically just a song, pretty self-explanatory, written about my wife, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just about that, telling somebody how much you mean to them.
Right.
And, that, it's kind of like they're in the forefront of your brain no matter what. And, you could never kind of be without them. You couldn't lose them because, no matter where you are, they'd always stick out.
Right.
And things we hold on to is just about, kind of getting to that thing in relationships where people make mistakes. We all have. I have for sure, and everybody has. And you get to a point where how big is a mistake, and how long do you hold on to it? And do you choose to hold on to it forever and make it ruin your relationship, or can you sit with it, know that whatever problems you might have, you have them, but if you choose to get beyond it,
right,
you work towards moving forward, and you let go of them and don't let them hold you back, and you start over from where you are and pick up and go.
Cool.
But you have to make that decision.
Right. Wow. Can you tell me anything about any particular song, like maybe something behind a special meaning, besides the two that we just mentioned, that are your favorites?
Yeah, that's an interesting question too. I mean, they all have meanings in their own right. Obviously, I wouldn't even know where to start. I mean, pick a song and I'll tell you about it.
Right. Well, let me give me, one of my writer's favorite song is "What You Do." He really liked that song. That was his favorite, and he just wanted to know anything about that song.
Well, that song is definitely an introspective song about uncertainty within oneself, and just being. I wrote that in a time where, just not everything was going great, and really just kind of a little bit lost, and you find yourself like, all right, you got to make some moves, and you got to do things, and nobody's there to guide you, and you're just kind of second guessing things, but you don't want to sit there and bitch and complain about it, and you don't want sympathy, if you're down and out, it's kind of about manning up and, taking control, but it is written from a very kind of uncertain time in someone's life.
Right.
In mine particularly.
Cool. Now, you and Steve Brown, you've been writing songs together for so long, from Trickster to Throwing Rocks and Soaked and 40-Foot Ringo and stuff like that. You guys are like a partner, like McCartney and Lennon and stuff like that.
Pretty much exactly. Thanks for nailing that on the head. Yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect, right? What is it like when you two guys get together and try to hash out a song or whatever? You're like twins, right?
It's very easy, we can, it's like the old, like Lennon McCartney, but probably even better because, we don't fight nearly as much as those two did.
Oh yeah.
But we could definitely finish each other's thoughts, and without having to say where I'm trying to go with this song or where he's trying to go with the song, it's unspoken. He knows where I'm going. I know where he's going.
Right. Cool.
And sometimes, if he's stuck, I know where to go. And, if I just have an idea, he knows where I'm going with it, and he can take it.
Cool. Now, with the new album, have you performed any of these songs live yet?
Yes and no. I've done one acoustic show with this material, a short set in L.A. It was a couple of years ago, actually. I opened up for my buddy Jimmy Necco from the band Hours, and he'd asked me to open for him at Hotel Cafe in L.A., and I'd never done it before. And I was just really, I'd never sat around practicing the songs or anything like that. I'm like, oh, Jesus. I'm like, yeah, I want to do it, because I was coincidentally going to be in Vegas the day before, and it just worked out. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to stop being a pussy and just go do this.
Right.
And it was the first time so I'd start and practice these songs. I'm like, oh shit, can I play and sing these songs? I haven't, sang them in so long. But it was great. It was, I don't know if you're familiar with Jimmy, but he's one of the best singers I know. If personally, I mean, he is the best. But I mean, so that was intimidating, especially knowing that he has such a good, strong following out in LA. But it was great. I definitely got a different kind of buzz, and I haven't done it since. But actually, I do some local shows, local acoustic shows, and every once in a while, I'll sneak something in.
Cool.
Just really for no other reason than to practice it.
Right. Yeah, that's very cool. Can you tell me anything about who played on the album?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I did. 90% of it from the ground up.
Right.
I played all the drums, guitars, the bass, the singing, the percussion. I had our buddy Mike Luciano, who actually filled in for Gus for about a year when Gus left the band back in like 94, 5 or something.
Right.
He was in Trickster for a short time, and after our Undercovers tour or something like that, he was back in Jersey with us, and we were recording songs, and I had this song, The Fallen, and it was kind of one of my first quote-unquote solo songs that I recorded.
Right.
And being that I did everything up at Steve's house, I just had Mike, because it didn't even dawn on me for me to play drums. I just figured he's here and he's amazing, so I'm going to use him.
Right.
And, actually on that song too, I had Steve do the solo. He came up with this amazing, amazing slide guitar solo that I was hearing something very unique. And my guitar skills are limited. In the sense that I don't solo well.
Right.
I don't even attempt it. I play like melodic, simple, memorable kind of solos, but I know when I need to call in the ringer, and so it was nice to have him right there at any point. And I just say, and I did on like probably 5 of the songs. At least I said, I need this, I need that, I need a real guitar player on here.
Right.
And I need some outro stuff maybe. So he did like probably like 5 solos or something like that, and Mike played the drums on the one track Fallen, but other than that, it's all me.
Cool. Very cool.
Back in the day before Pro Tools too.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
It wasn't just putting it into Beat Detective and all that stuff. It was,
right. Wow. You just got back from the Frontiers Rock Festival in Italy this past weekend. How'd that go?
It went really good.
Cool.
We had really nothing to gauge it from, because Trickster, the band, had never been in Europe, so we didn't know what kind of reception we were going to get. Apparently, the popular consensus is that we were one of the most anticipated bands over there. So that was encouraging.
Right.
And judging by their reaction, it was obvious. I mean, they were great.
Cool.
So just anxious and receptive. It was really refreshing and cool how excited they got.
Wow. Did you get to eat any different kind of foods over there or anything like that?
You know what? I was there so short. I was there for 2 days.
Wow.
And I ate pizza.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw
times.
the picture.
Yeah. We ate that for lunch, or we ate for dinner one night, and then we went back and had it for lunch the next day.
Wow.
And really, those were my only 2 meals that I had there.
Wow.
So I had maybe a little bit of pasta catering at the venue, and really that was about it.
Too bad. Next time, So.
Well, ironically, that was my second time in Milan, because I'd been there, played the Gods of Metal Festival when I was with Lita,
right.
And we played Milan, but we had just flown in from Germany, went right to the venue, and I stayed at the venue all day because Motley was on the bill, Sabbath, Tesla, Queensryche, all these bands. It was like,
wow.
It was an epic day. So by the time I got back to the hotel, I went right to sleep for 3 hours. That was it. Didn't see any of Milan. Had a little bit of food and catering, and that was it. So 2 trips to Milan, 3 days spent, not a lot of culture.
Wow. Next time. You'll be back, Is there any plans for another Trickster album?
I don't know. I mean, at this when I was doing interviews for New Audio Machine, and I got asked that question, I would say the same thing. I don't know. Not really on our radar.
Right.
You know, Human Era, the making of Human Era wasn't on our radar. You know, until Serafino from Frontier said, "You guys want to make another record?"
Right.
No, I'm not giving you more money than last time, but I'm gonna give you another record.
Wow.
But and so we did that. That's how it came about. So I mean, you know,
cool.
I don't know. We'll see.
Cool. You have.
See if he asks again.
Wow. You have material for your next solo album yet?
Possibly some stuff. I still got some stuff in the archives. Still got some unfinished ideas, and you know, when I get some time, I'd love to create some new.
Cool.
Finish some bits that I've worked on. You know, I got 2 kids, so I get to bang out maybe 4-bar progression, record it, and then forget about it.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
And then I got to go play Play-Doh or something.
Yeah, I know the feeling. You know. Wow. Yeah. So, what are the plans for the rest of the year? Anything coming up?
Yeah, Trickster's actually got a busy June right now. We have like 5 shows in June, and then the stuff for the summer is coming on, and I think we're going to be going to the UK in October. First time there for Trickster 2, so we're breaking some new ground, and I'd like to get out and maybe do some shows for the solo record, whether it be solo acoustic or get a band and see what can come out of that.
Yeah.
Just have fun, really, play them,
Cool. Yeah, you should come up here and play the Firehouse Pub like Steve does all the time.
Right. That's right.
That's right around the corner from me.
That's right. Yeah.
So definitely. So, how can people buy the album once it comes out?
It'll be available or you can get physical copies through my website, pjfarley.net. You can get them from melodicrockrecords.com. You can get them from Amazon. And then, obviously iTunes, it'll be available. Pretty much, I don't think it'll be too hard to find. But, yeah, physical copies, being that, there are no record stores anymore, and Best Buy carries, 10 records. You can go to pjfarley.net, and you can get some good stuff there. And like I said, it won't be too hard to find.
Right. Do you ever worry about illegal downloading and stuff like that, or you're just happy you have something out?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't make this record and put it out to get rich and count every record sold. I mean, that's
Definitely.
I haven't had that approach in a very, very long time. Nowadays, artists put out records to fulfill the need for themselves.
Right.
I wanted to put this record out, and I want people to hear it. It's not going to change my life.
Wow.
Just like, it's Trickster Records. People are like, oh, cool, how's the record doing? I'm like, what do you mean? That was a question I used to get, when our first record came out or second record came out, and it made sense. Like, oh, cool, sold 30,000 this week.
Right.
Wow. Doing good. We're number 24. All that's so outdated, out the window. It's just like, you make a great record, you put it out, and you hope they hear it. And then maybe there's interest for live performance, or, of course I'd like some people to buy it, as many people as possible to buy it, but, I fully believe that people are going to illegally download it.
Wow.
That's life.
Cool.
YouTube the whole thing. And
yeah, definitely.
That's life. Like I said, I mean, I know I wasn't going to get rich putting this record out.
Right. Are you surprised at all with the longevity of Trickster, that you're still going strong and stuff like that? Because, it seems like you play more now than maybe back in the day.
Well, back in the day,
yeah.
or
when the videos came out and MTV was the big thing.
Well, no, that's definitely not true, because I mean, when you're on a tour bus and you're on a tour for months on end, you're playing every night. We're doing 20 shows a year now.
Wow.
I mean, it's really not a lot. I mean, especially compared to bands like Warrant and LA Guns and Bret Michaels, who he doesn't stop. So I mean, those guys are busy.
Right.
we can't get it together that much.
Hey, well, families too, so.
Yeah, families, everyone's got other agendas, and, it ain't easy.
Right,
but we
right.
try to do it as much as we can.
Yeah, well, PJ...
We'd like to do it more.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, PJ, it was great talking to you as usual and stuff like that.
Thank
Congratulations on the CD.
Thank
Hopefully
you,
everybody goes out and supports it and, get some sound samples out to people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, I really enjoyed the disc. Like I said, I told you my 2 favorite tracks were. And,
right.
It really is, a song where you can really, sit back and enjoy the songs. Some of them are, other bands and stuff like that, like, it's just like full head, like steam rock and roll, and after a while you got to take them headphones off. At least, you can enjoy your disc, and, congratulations on that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. I always been a proud supporter of the band and stuff like that. And my
yes,
friend
you
Mark,
have.
Mark
yes,
Ballo,
you have.
and, anytime you need anything, you can call on us. We'll be there for you. And, would you like to say anything to the fans out there before we conclude?
Well, I hope you enjoy this record. It's, it was a work in progress, and it's really to anyone who's listening and paying attention, thank you. I'm always surprised when somebody does.
Cool. Thanks a lot, PJ.
Thanks, Brian.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.